Hey friends, welcome back to Channel Surf. If this is your first time here, I'm Jazz and I watch a shit ton of TV and it's a double feature today, you guys. The last episode of Extracted, we saw two extractions. So you already saw my chat with Amy and I am sad, bittersweet, okay? Sad that I have these next group of ladies on, but really excited to talk to them. So without further ado, let's welcome Carly, Emily, and our survivalist, Katie. Hi, the triplets, but not really triplets.
Hello. Thank you for
Hi, how
having
are
me.
you?
Oh, I'm
Hello.
so good. I'm so excited to talk to you ladies. We have a lot to dig into because I've been really enjoying watching y'all in HQ. Emily and Carly, y'all were in there causing a little bit of trouble at some point.
Just a
But
little.
yeah, just a little, but look, it was all in pursuit to make sure your sister had what she needs. And as a sister, I'm like, I would have been causing some trouble in there too. So super excited to jump into that. Let's actually talk about that moment in HQ. I know it wasn't this episode, but it was a couple of episodes ago where you guys took, was it the blanket from Polly?
We
Her
took the
sleeping
sleeping bag.
bag.
The sleeping bag. How did it feel after you guys like made that move? Because I know in the moment it's like I'm doing this for my sister, but when you have to sit in HQ with the rest of the people in the angry family, how did that feel?
Horrible. No
Worse
other way to
than
put it.
it was very uncomfortable. It was challenging because it was hard watching Polly react and then watching her family react. And then obviously tensions are very high with our team and every other team in HQ. So it was more uncomfortable than it probably was watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really hard.
I imagine that. Now remind me again of the order. Who's the oldest, middle, and youngest?
So we have one older sister, and then
Okay.
it's me, and then Emily, and then another sister, and then Carly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what
Mhm.
what were the other sisters like doing when you guys were recording or out in Canada recording?
Freaking out, trying to figure out what was going on. Yep.
Have they been watching the show this season?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they
What
love
what do
it.
I'll go to you first, Katie. What do they think of you being out in the wilderness? Are they supportive or
I think they're shocked that I actually went and did it, to be completely honest. It was one of those things where I applied and everyone's like, yeah, whatever, you're not going to do it. And then I did it. And now where everyone's being able to see it, it's just been really cool. So I think there's a mix of just like shock and I think they're a little impressed.
absolutely. And then Emily and Carly, how are they feeling about the moves you guys have been making in HQ?
They were definitely a little bit surprised by our deception level. I mean, I still am that we did that. I'm very that's very much out of our element, so very uncomfortable, but they're very proud of us that we did that in order to get Katie her sleeping bag.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Let's talk about the gum issue that you were having, Katie.
Mhm.
Like, I'm so curious. What did it turn out being?
It ended up, we're still not 100% sure, but based off of what it looked like, and honestly, reading people's comments online, I believe it was like a bacterial infection that was caused because I have braces. So
Mhm,
my teeth were still being shifted and moving around, but there was no nutrients, oxygen, or blood flow.
mhm.
So I had a bunch of things working against me.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was really painful too.
It didn't start getting painful until the night before they extracted me. I have 2 dental implants, so I felt one of them throbbing, and I was like, "Uh-oh, that's not good."
Yeah, so let's actually talk about the extraction because
Mhm,
this is one of those extractions. You guys have been keeping up with the season. For the most part, the survivalists, they are ready to go. But this was
mhm.
one of those extractions where like we couldn't tell. I want to go to you, Carly and Emily. I know we saw you guys were like her teeth, her gums, it looks like it's getting worse, or at least it's not getting better. She's
Right.
gotten some food. We think she needs to go. Was there more to that conversation than what we saw on the show? More deliberation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Katie's issue first started less than a week, I think, after being out there. So
Mhm.
we were just having her monitor it well, hopefully, I mean, we couldn't talk to her, but she was showing it to the camera almost every single day. And we could just tell as the days went on, it moved from one side to the other. Then she started complaining that it was hurting. Then one of her teeth was starting to get a little bit loose. So we knew that eventually we would have to make a decision. And we didn't have anyone to tell us you should make this decision. We had what Molly was telling us for any, the medical advice that we were getting, but yeah, it was a very challenging decision because we knew that Katie didn't want to go and we didn't want
Mhm.
to go, so it was kind of yeah, it was just not an easy decision. And then Carly and I had a lot of conversations leading up to the day that we extracted her, And then obviously that entire morning, it was just kind of, we were going back and forth.
Mhm.
Yeah, because everybody in HQ was kind of like, "No, don't do it." They were trying to
Mhm.
Yes!
talk you guys out
We
of
walked
it.
back into HQ and they were like, "No," because they saw us crying and they just knew that we were gonna pull her out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's always a tough decision, but I imagine I would make the same one for my sister. Katie, I wanna talk to you though, like, what did you feel I wanna ask this question, and I'm not trying to start anything, okay? I know how it is with sister. Were you upset with them at all when you heard that you were getting extracted?
I actually was not
Okay.
because I said to them on the camera that when I first noticed it, I said, I have no resources out here whatsoever. I don't know what this is. I'm trusting both of you to make a judgment call when you have to. So I think I didn't realize how serious it was because when I'm out
Mhm.
in the wild, I'm not worrying about my teeth or anything. I'm just worried about when my next meal's gonna be. So when I got that survivalist, I thought it was gonna be a trial. Then I said I got extracted. I think you can probably see on my face the level of shock that I went into. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was definitely shocking, but I knew right off, like immediately off the bat, I was like, oh, it's because of this. It must be that serious. So I'm very happy with the judgment call that they made. They did exactly what I asked them to do. So I cannot even be, I can be angry at the situation, but never at them.
Definitely. No, that's so sweet. I love that. And I
Mhm.
also love when that when you were getting extracted, you were like, "Well, at least my hair looks cute for the
Oh,
extraction."
because I did it for the trial. I felt like we were gonna have a trial that day, and I was like, I have free time. I'll braid my hair. Oh no.
It was so cute. So what else were you doing out there to, like, keep yourself entertained? When I talked to Amy, she said she had a full, like, routine that she would do. So what were you doing out there?
I tried my best to have a routine,
Mhm.
but I mean, I think it really just depended on when I ate. Because whenever I ate something, I had so much energy the next day. But mainly, I just sat and talked and I stretched. I talked and I did when I got my sleeping bag. I would wake up in the morning and do like my sleeping bag stretches because it was so cold.
Yeah.
And then I basically just talked to the camera the entire day. I really don't, that was my routine. I'd go stretch and just chat. That was it. And just wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Carly and Emily, so what we can see on the show, as you guys have been watching it, we only see, like, certain moments when Katie is talking to you. Is this something can you always hear her when you're sitting at the monitor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
wow. So
just
were
yeah,
you
24/7.
Yeah, were you singing or anything to them, Katie? I know somebody else in HQ, I think it's is it RJ that was singing to
It
you
was
guys?
RJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sang quite a bit, and there was one specific moment when I sang the entire 10 minutes of All Too Well, and I sat there and I was like, "Okay, girls, we're gonna sing in a couple minutes," and I would sit there because I would like, I don't know if they're actually there, so I would sit there and be like, "Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to come," and then I think that they were sitting right there and they sang it with me the whole 10 minutes. It was
Oh my
fabulous.
gosh. I lo and All Too Well, Taylor Swift's All Too Well, right?
Oh, of course, the whole
Amazing
thing.
oh, okay, you have taste. I love the taste. I love the taste, ladies. So, one of my favorite things about Extracted is how they show these different relationships. We have, some married couples, we have families, that consist of siblings, mother, son. How has this experience strengthened your sibling bond, if at
We
all?
were we were close before, we definitely gotten a lot closer. We text basically every day. Actually, there hasn't been one day there hasn't been one text in our group chat, so we've definitely gotten a lot closer and are able to bond over this experience.
And even with the rest of our family and like our friends too, it's just such a crazy experience. So everyone has so many questions and like we're always happy to answer them. And obviously our siblings are dying to hear behind the scenes information. So it really, like Carly said, we were already very close, but it definitely brought us a lot closer.
Yeah.
Especially having to watch your sister out in the woods struggling so bad.
It
That they're a lot cooler now that I saw their game moves. I was like, okay, ladies, like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they were ready to go to war for you, Katie. It was really cool to see because I think as the audience, like we watched them, we're developing or we're forming these like bonds with you guys. I know it's very parasocial, but we're
Mhm.
watching you week after week. And so we're like wanting for everybody to succeed, but we know it's a game. Only one person
Mhm.
can win this game. So
Right.
I know when you guys took the sleeping bag from Polly, I was like, oh my gosh, that was so mean, but then I thought like a half second later, I was like, "Wait a minute, nope, they're doing it for their sister. I would have done that for my sister too." So we have so many different emotions, and I think at the
Mhm.
end of it, we all realize if your sibling, your loved one is out there in the wilderness, how far would you go? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I probably would have done even worse things in HQ. So it makes you confront those thoughts. And I love that. I want to
Mhm.
ask you, Katie, what was the worst challenge for you being out there?
Oh, absolutely the night trial. I mean, that trial, I hated every second of it. That morning, usually, like normally, like you kind of figured what the day was gonna bring by like 1 or 2. So when I didn't hear anything by 1 or 2, I thought I was in the clear, and I actually washed my socks that morning. And at like 4 o'clock, they were like, "Survivalist, there's a trial," and I was like, "You're kidding! My socks are soaking wet." No, but to be real, like it was terrible. It was honestly one of the worst hours of my life. And
Yeah,
you couldn't tell. I screamed at myself the whole time, the whole way.
it seems scary in the way you guys were holding the cameras. It reminded me of the Blair Witch Project. So that
Yes, that's what I
added,
said too.
yes, that added to the fear that we had while watching. Carly and
Mhm.
Emily, what was the worst challenge to watch her go through?
The night
Also
trial.
the night
The night.
challenge.
Yeah, because Carly and I forgot, oh man, we forgot to charge one of the batteries until like the last couple of minutes. So,
Mhm.
and we forgot to write her a note. So, luckily she didn't know that that was an option. And she also didn't know that her lantern might die. But we knew that if her light went out in the middle of the woods, she was 100% going to have a panic attack. I don't know what
Mhm.
would have happened, and it would have been entirely our fault. So,
It would have.
Oh.
okay, thank you. Well, it didn't. So,
No, it didn't. We made it.
Yeah, you got lucky. Yeah, that was an intense one. I
Mhm.
usually ask people if they could, would they do it again? Katie, I feel like I know your answer because you weren't exactly ready to go. So you would do it again.
Oh, if they called me and said I need to be in Canada tomorrow, I would pack my bags.
Um,
Absolutely.
Emily or Carly, would either of you trade places with Katie and go out into the wilderness and let her go into
You
HQ?
couldn't even pay me to last more than an hour out there because I saw a spider in my room last night and I couldn't even kill it. So if I was outside in the woods, I think I would seriously freak out. I would need to leave after an hour. I would like to think that I could, but I'm not sure I'd make it.
Yeah. What about you, Emily?
yeah, I would love to say that I could, but I hate being cold. Like, there's nothing worse to me than being cold. So I honestly, I don't think I could do it just because of that. I don't know, maybe with some preparation, but it didn't look
You
Yeah.
fun.
can't prepare for that type of cold. Like
No, I
nothing can
know.
prepare
So
you for that.
Yeah, nothing could prepare you for it, and I think also too, just like the unknown of the wildlife, like there were bears out there and stuff,
Mhm.
like you gotta
yep.
be prepared at all times to just run into the unknown. But yeah, if I saw like a mouse or something, I would be like, Hit the button now, get me out of here, I hate it." Well,
One time Katie was sleeping and a squirrel jumped on her in her shelter and then like jumped back out. And she was
I
slept through
was
the whole thing.
blissfully unaware.
oh
Completely. I also didn't see any rats or mice. Whew, that would
thank
have probably
God.
taken me out.
Yeah, thank God. Oh, I'm so glad you were asleep when the squirrel did
Me and
when
you
the squirrel
both. I
did.
I would have died.
Well, look, it was so cool watching this group of badass sisters, right? Katie, you being out there in the wilderness, Emily and Carly, you guys being in HQ doing everything you can to make sure Katie had everything. Like I said, as someone who is a sister, I would have done the same thing. And so it was a real joy watching you ladies. And I'm sorry that, you're not going to finish the competition, but want to just let you all know, job well done. Bravo.
Thank
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 you.
you.
That's
you. Thank
Bravo.
you.
yes.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into my chat with Team Katie. Unfortunately, the ladies are now out of the competition, but like I said, I loved watching them go through the journey of making a decision to take something from someone else that you know they need, but because your loved one, your sibling, your romantic partner, when they need it, you have to sometimes take it from the other person. And it's like the game is the game is the game at the end of the day. But anyways, make sure you guys are continuing to watch Extracted. It airs every Monday on Fox at 8, 7 Central, and then streaming the next day on Hulu. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.